Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Saturday to you and your family. We're taking a look, of course, here at Terra Classic, helping you understand best practice. Big picture, I'm going to try to make this a quick one just because I'm not feeling super hot. And I get the question a lot here recently, why am I not covering this? It's not necessarily by choice. I'm not specifically choosing not to. It's just that I haven't had a tremendous amount of time with my with my disability and just feeling overall just generally not great. So apologize for the delay, but let's go ahead and see what we can kind of come up with here. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, just know I have a trading academy, community, and signal group. I teach people how to trade, and effectively my graduates are doing very, very well. I love it. It's really exciting and fun to watch, and just really cool to be kind of part of that. So if you want to join up, go ahead and join over 200 active members. We've got a private Discord here. We just took some massive profits on XRP here recently, 125%. And of course, we take a look at some of the trade results too. I mean, my team members are killing it right now. Just awesome, awesome stuff. I couldn't be happier. So again, that's all something that's available to you there. And also note too that I do have a partnership with Bitget as well, and they do offer a significant sign-up bonus. But right now, I actually have challenges that we do bi-weekly, whereas there's a $10,000 prize pool. So be sure to check that out. In fact, I think I got that guy bookmarked here. You can kind of see that we are looking pretty good here in the next couple weeks. So in 12 days, we're going to have some pretty happy people there, of course, and a lot of it's based on profit and loss ratio, volume, and just generally just being a good trader, right, or consistent, if you will. All right, so again, just some cool things there to check out in your own time. That is available all in the description below if you want to do either of those two choices. So take a look here at Lunc Classic, or Terra Classic rather, whatever you want to call it. It's basically one of those things where we are still ascending in this general large ascending trend, right? So we've got some support there. It's matching our previous support there at about 25,800, but we are also bearish in a sense that we can see this decline, right? I mean, most of the markets like this, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty obvious. I got this decline here. We're kind of in a wedge type of pattern in a strange way. It's not like the most comfortable, but generally speaking, it's one of these here, right? So it's a descending type of wedge. You got to keep in mind, since it came from this direction, the likelihood of breaking up versus down is higher. Okay, what Terra Classic needs though is a decent day or two from Bitcoin, because honestly, it's not exactly synonymous with Bitcoin, but some of these large aggressive candle wicks are exactly aligned with Bitcoin's nonsensical behavior. Okay, again, CPI data, a handful of other things, they just kind of screw things up for a lot of folks, and Terra Classic's no exception there. So just realize that is kind of the general consensus. If we take a look at the moving averages though, we're underneath the 50-day set moving average, and this is typically not a great sign. It doesn't imply that the price is just going to shoot down because of it. It just tells us if it comes back up, it might face some resistance at 30/31,000, at least tentatively. Depends on how long it takes for this to bounce. With us continuing to retest this lower area, this lower range, it's not fantastic. It does imply we could see further continuation down. But let's look at some of the standard indicators and kind of see where we're at. Unfortunately, we lost 50 on the RSI some time ago. It's been roughly about a week's worth of time underneath that support level. What that means is it becomes a resistance. Therefore, the price comes up and tries to bounce. We could very well see a continuation or basically a rejection off of that resistance level to cause the price action to continue further down. Okay, so until we start making higher lows, we're not going to be ascending anytime soon. Okay, that's what we want to look for, is higher lows. We can still see we're still diverging here. It's not super strong, but it's still gaining strength, right? So you can kind of see this line here. I apologize, my left hand doesn't draw straight lines very well, but you can kind of see the idea there, whereas the oscillator's continuing to increase, kind of just telling us there's more momentum to the downside and that there's really nothing bullish about Terra Classic right now. All right, now keep in mind this is a weekend, things are a little funny. We could see some interesting behavior just based on low volume and higher volatility, but besides that factor, we want to look at the smaller time frames and look at a couple things. First of all the moving averages are working down here. They're running concurrent with this descending trend that we just realized, or just drew out, however you want to call it. And that's positive in a sense, because it's only inevitable for you to break above the trend line if you continue to retest it, right? We've retested once, twice, three times you're out, right? That's the whole concept, I think, at the old ball game. Regardless of what I'm getting at, and other people in other countries are probably like, what the hell? Anyways, what I'm getting at here is that we're below these resistances, not a fantastic sign, but we are continuing to retest this level, and even though we continue to get rejected, it's inevitable for the price action to break to the upside, or at least to break that trend and start making higher lows to allow for us to go sideways before we go up. So what we're looking for here is, and this is a kind of weak, this isn't 100% yet, but if you can see here, this is technically, it's pretty much the same, but it's slightly higher than this one here, right? I wouldn't justify that as a higher low, but it's a start. Okay, so hypothetically double bottom, and then we see the continuation for higher lows. That's what we're looking for to get that confirmation. But right now, there's literally nothing here that I see that is positive as well. I mean, MACD is diverging. We're under 50 on the RSI. We're getting closer to 30. Keep in mind, there's oftentimes a bouncing point for that. So the price has come down to about, just say 26,000 as a rough estimate. Then we should experience a bounce, right? How strong will it be? Hard to say, but again, there's not a lot of bullish qualities in the daily and the 4 hour. So that's giving us not a lot of confidence, or not giving me a lot of confidence to want to take a long position right now. So taking a look here at the Ichimoku cloud, we can see the lagging span is free and clear of price action. We can also identify that the conversion line is below the baseline and we're well below the cloud. So this is basically 3 out of 3 green lights to either A, take a short position, or hold your position open. So I'm not saying that you should take a short, but if you were to, 26,000 would be the likely next bouncing point. Okay, so hypothetically, you can come down, get some profits there, and maybe bounce off that level for a little 2.6% or 26.1%. Wait, yeah, something along those lines. Math is hard when you're on pain meds, but the general consensus here is that it's more likely to go down than up. But you got to recognize that this is technically a higher low so far. All right, it's not a fantastic higher low. It's not pretty, but it is higher low nonetheless. Okay, so we can print a few more higher lows, then we'll start establishing higher highs, break this most recent resistance area here right at about 28,900, basically round number 29,000, and then continue higher, right? Because again, ultimately, to be able to break this sideways action, for lack of better terms, we're looking for higher lows, and the next high, wherever that might be, because it'll probably be one of these, it needs to be higher than this, because this is the new resistance level in the general sense of establishing a new higher high. So if we don't have that, we can expect the price to kind of still be range bound. Okay? And that's a lot of times what you need to identify. As a trader, and I teach this in my trading university, there's 3 different types of trends. There's descending trends, there's range bound activity, and there's ascending trends. This is a descending trend right now, and we want to look for signs to get it to not necessarily shift bullishly, but to adjust itself within a range. And it's not quite range bound yet, but it feels like it's wanting to work within a range soon. So that's what I'm looking for here. So ultimately, again, I would say not fantastic. There's some silver lining here, but it's more likely the price is going to continue to bleed out until it doesn't, or more importantly, until it bounces off that key support roughly at about 26,000. Okay, so one of those 2 things will happen, right? I can guarantee you that the price will either go up or down. Sorry, I try to find humor in some things, because I know it sucks if you're in the red. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make light of it, but generally speaking, you got to keep a positive attitude in trading, and that's all there is to it. And that's another thing that's really awesome about my community. Everyone's very uplifting and very supportive, and I'm just super impressed to be able to work with some amazing traders across the globe. So thank you so much, all of you. You know who you are. Deeply appreciate you, and I hope that you all fare well this weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next one. Take care. Thanks again for your time.